Welcome to your Barbados Today Evening News Update for Tuesday, March 23. Agriculture Minister Indar Ware today broke his silence on the firing of the former Chief Executive Officer of the state-owned Barbados Agriculture Development and Marketing Corporation, Dr. Brian Francis. Ware, who was speaking in Parliament on Tuesday during the estimates debate, suggested that the board made the right decision.
No board comprising people of the caliber of the people we have at the BADMC. People like Professor Dr. Troy Lauren, please bear with me, Mr. Speaker, Dr. Janine Comer, okay? Academics would seek to victimize or seek to do unjust to anyone unless there's cause. An injustice to anyone unless there's cause, Mr. Speaker, is not something we would entertain. And I want to place before this honorable chamber that a decision taken to terminate a contract was a hard one.
The Ministry of Labour was today put on notice that some employers are trying to reduce the salaries of workers just days before the national minimum wage takes effect on April 1. Speaking during debate on the Appropriations Bill 2021, Member of Parliament for St. George North and General Secretary of the Barbados Workers' Union, Tony Moore, revealed that at least one security firm was attempting to change the contracts of security guards to reduce their working hours.
It was drawn to my attention that there's a particular employer in security where the wage is not proposed for $8.50 but $9.25, and that employer is at this very moment seeking to change the contracts of workers down from 12-hour shifts to 8-hour shifts. Because if you were working at 12 hours at $7, and you now have to work that same 12 hours at $9.25, you now might end up working for more than a supervisor. So instead of adjusting the supervisor, they're looking to cut the contracts, cut the hours in the workers' contracts. And this government, through the Ministry of Labour, must make a strong statement on this issue, but certainly I know that the labor union responsible would be putting them and the Ministry of Labour on notice, because it can't happen, not both here.
Minister in the Ministry of Economic Affairs and Investment, Marcia Caddo, stoutly defended the hike in the minimum wage. Some members of the business community suggest the timing may be off given the slowdown in economic activity. But Caddo, in her contribution to the estimates debate, however, insisted there's no better time.
What determines a worker's productivity? Surely it includes whether they can feed themselves. Surely it includes whether they can give themselves and their families nutritious food, see the doctor when they're sick, send their children safely to school. A person who cannot do all those things is not going to be productive. So I feel, sir, and we said it in June 2018, when we had a different crisis to confront, that the time has come for us to stop sacrificing workers on the altar of business efficiency and profits. The last 3 years have shown us that the two can coexist. When we came to the social partnership, and we came to the people of Barbados, and we talked about the principle of burden sharing, many hands make light work. We have to do this together. It was not rhetoric. I know some in this honorable chamber regrettably like rhetoric, but it was not rhetoric, it was real. And we watched it work. With respect to the economic crisis that we faced when we came to service in May 2018. We watched it work. So why have we abandoned, it seems, the idea that this burden sharing can continue to work? Mr. Speaker, sir, we have said, and I will repeat it in this honorable chamber, all must live in this country, and all will live. If these estimates of expenditure and revenue have anything to do with it, that is one of the key principles on which these estimates are built.
Minister of Housing Dr. William Duguid today broke ground on the latest National Housing Corporation construction site at Coombs House, White Park Road. 5 quads are to be built at that site. That's a total of 20 cost-efficient 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom rental units.
So we're looking to do 5 quads here, which will give us 20 rental units. And let's be honest, there will always be people who cannot afford to purchase and will have to rent. And the National Housing Corporation has not built rental units for some time. And now we're looking to get back into the rental unit construction so that we can provide more rental units for people who are looking to get those. And we've decided this is the best spot. We've had it approved, and we're looking forward to start this in a matter of days. I anticipate that this will cost us about $550,000 per quad, and we anticipate that it will take about 9 to 10 months to complete the project.
MP for the City and Minister of Health and Wellness, Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Bostic, is fully on board with the housing project, noting that there are few spaces in the city for housing. He, however, assured residents their needs remain a priority.
This will be then is a dream come true that some people would be able to get some rental units, and we will just continue to see where else we can find housing within this city housing spaces. But I'm very thankful that Minister Duguid and the people at the ministry have decided to do this, and I'm sure that it will be much appreciated by the people in this area, and it will lend some beauty to the landscape of the city of Bridgetown.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
To regional happenings as Guyana heads steadily towards the 10,000 COVID-19 infection mark, Health Minister Frank Anthony warned today that citizens who flout the COVID-19 guidelines will be placed before the law courts. More in this report from Guyana Newsroom.
There must be increased enforcement of the COVID guidelines, because if people continue to disregard these guidelines, not wearing masks, socializing, being very close to each other, gathering in these public spaces that they're closely together, we are going to have spread.
That was Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony. The minister explained that he engaged the National COVID-19 Task Force, and it was at that level that the decision was taken to have the Guyana Police Force and the Guyana Defence Force do more stringent enforcement of the curfew, social distancing, and capacity operation for businesses. Dr. Anthony said it is worrisome that persons are not even adhering to some of the most basic guidelines, such as wearing a mask. He said Guyanese seem to have become complacent, but warned that this could become a major problem for the country if the spread of the deadly disease is not contained.
So people need to start taking this thing a little bit more seriously. I think people have dropped their guard a little bit, and they think that COVID is over. COVID is not over. We have COVID that is circulating, and we have to take those precautions.
The COVID-19 task force will also be looking into the use of public transportation and adherence to the guidelines. Dr. Anthony further pointed out that with about 900 active cases currently, with most of the infections in regions 4 and 3, it is time for every individual to play their part in curbing the spread.
Further afield in the United States, President Joe Biden used the latest mass shooting to offer his most vocal push for gun control since taking office, saying the deaths of 10 people at a grocery store in Colorado should jolt Washington and the nation into action.
The second deadly U.S. mass shooting in a week has put new pressure on President Joe Biden to deliver on the gun control promises he made as a candidate.
We can ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines.
Biden on Tuesday called the shooting that left 10 dead at a Colorado grocery store a tragedy. That rampage came just 6 days after a gunman in Georgia killed 8 people in massage and beauty spas. But despite an epidemic of mass shootings stretching back decades, gun control measures pushed by Democratic lawmakers have been thwarted by Republican opposition. The debate was on display in a Senate hearing Tuesday.
We have another epidemic in America called guns.
Louisiana Republican John Kennedy told reporters he saw no need for new gun laws.
I don't believe we have a gun control problem in America. I believe we have an idiot control problem. And the objective should be to how to control the idiots who abuse guns.
But Democrat Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut was optimistic.
This time feels different. We have a president committed to ending gun violence, a majority in both houses of Congress, and most important, a growing grassroots movement led by a new generation.
Earlier this month, the House of Representatives passed 2 bills that would broaden background checks for gun buyers. A small number of Republicans voted with Democrats to approve the measures. But the legislation faces an uncertain future in the Senate, where passage requires 60 votes, and Democrats hold just 50 seats in the chamber.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.